After a 2-month hiatus, I'm back working on a bus. I don't know if you can tell, but there is a change of scenery. I got out of that shithole apartment with the tiny garage where I can barely fit the bus and just me if we push it all the way to one side. So now I'm in a big garage, and that's where all the time went. This garage was living space. There was sheetrock all around here, a really badly done bathroom, studs, linoleum with the vinyl floor on top, basically lots and lots of bad decisions. So I spent about almost 2 months getting this space back to the garage shape. So we have a nice floor now, lighting, bus. So now I'm trying to figure out where I left off, and by the looks of it, we need to patch up kind of this area with the jack point and substructure. Put this back in before we fit the arc, the door, and then I can align the bottom piece here. So I think I started on the most complicated corner of this bus, because this door slide thing has so many pieces in here and there's no access without cutting it all apart, but it's pretty good. You know, not rusted, it's very thick solid metal. You know, comparing the other side of the bus where the floor is rusted, we're just 2 pieces, inner and outer rocker, versus the gazillion pieces here. I started my learning process with the very hard side to do. So I start by repairing the inner side of this B-pillar where the door slide ends. There are a couple speed holes in there and the metal is really thin. We're not gonna cut it out, we're just gonna weld the piece on top for strength. The bottom of the B-pillar has a drainage hole, so it's open to the elements anyway. And I decided not to just wing it, but create a pattern first. So I make the cardboard pattern. Then from the cardboard pattern, I make a piece of metal, and then we weld it in. There we go, patch is welded in. Best as I could. Can't reach into that corner. Next piece to go in is the jacking point substructure with the strengthening elements. So first I make sure it all fits in nicely. There is no more need to grind anything out. I didn't leave any huge chunks in there. Then I make some holes to spot weld it into the support structure that's already there. After we make the necessary holes, which takes quite a long time, this is quite a hard steel piece, we clamp it in place and pull out the hot glue stick and glue it in. As always, my favorite position, upside down, learning to weld. Well, we're gonna take a quick detour. This whole thing needs to go away so I can get in here and weld. So looks like 1, 2, 3, 4 gigantic bolts and some brake lines. Yay! Okay. Yay! It moves. Doesn't spin the brake line. there will be some sort of clip here. Yep. Here we go. So the idea is you tighten the bolt first. That breaks the seal between the brake line and this, and then brake line doesn't spin when you're trying to undo this nut. Okay. Oh, come on. Come on, baby. Okay. We have a vacuum line to disconnect. There we go. Disconnected. Be here too. No. It is 11. 11. This one's going. Maybe. Yep. Yep. Ugh. Nope, that's a little close already. So we'll be turning it. Nope. guess there was some fluid, maybe. Okay, so that's disconnected, that's disconnected. We can go up front and take the 4 bolts and take it out. These two behind are really easy to get to, right? Okay, moving. Good, we have a torque multiplier. There we go. Still go forward. Come on. Like that. There we go. The hose self-clearance itself. So we have a master. Oh, nope, not high enough. We don't want to smash the dust shield. So, what you not happy about? What you're not happy about? Yay! We're mobile. That was hard. A quick break and we're gonna take the steering box out. Hopefully it will go as smooth as this one did. I wonder if I have a wrench big enough to get in there. Not big enough. Not big enough. And that's 32. I have a nut one, but that's way huge. Okay. That's way huge. Okay. Swedish nut lathe. This way. Oh. Yeah, this will be a problem. I can take these out. What is it? I need a socket. I need a socket in this size. What can we squeeze this with? Come on. Did it move? I don't think so. Yeah, it did move. Go this way. Nope. There we go. Oh, come on. Okay. What if we take this off? Maybe it will slide off with all of that. Any ideas? Success! Now that we're missing the disc brake that I was smacking my head into, we can start filling this hole in. So I have this piece, but I think I'm just gonna chop it here so I can fit this part separately and then deal with this. We chopped off this piece. Now let's make it fit. Okay, first test with the new welder. Nice! I like this welder already. So here's the ugliness I created. Here's stuff just blowing out, because this is much thinner, I guess, rusted out. But this guy is okay. I guess I need to tack for a low, shorter duration, so they're not so protruding. Will be less grinding. Tag holes, everything's fine. I would say good enough for government work. So now we weld in the next piece. Come on. And now let's make some holes. So you see this? Hum hum. So makes holes. Let me see. here on the end, one here. Alright, so now we can get a bunch of holes on this side too. See how much faster it is than drilling? Okay, but we need to make a couple more, so I'll have to go and do the drill. Okay. Here it is. I threw in the door. The gaps are, yeah, pretty even. Maybe it wants to come down here, maybe. But it doesn't fit quite right. Yep, so it wants to especially here, it needs to come up, and by coming up it should move that way a little bit. This edge is really nasty. I need to make a couple cuts and straighten this out. So that's what we're gonna work on next, trying to get this to fit. Yeah, let's get this waviness and stuff sorted and bent in, make a couple cuts and shrink it in, right? Oh, it needs to come out a little bit on the whole thing, but at least looks half as decent. So this is fitting pretty okay, but here, that's where the old one was, that's where the new one is. To fix this misalignment issue, we'll have to weld in a piece of metal in there. So we'll grab again a piece of cardboard from random packaging of something I bought. It's definitely not pizza this time. So we trace out the outside, the inside,
Look at this
do
beauty.
the steps, make a cardboard template, transfer that to sheet metal, cut it out, weld it in. Well, you know the drill, like copy, paste, repeat. And to prevent the cardboard template from sliding, use a magnet, dummy. bit warm. Fits. Now let's cut out the reverse piece. An hour of fiddling and I managed to get this piece fabricated. So now we cut out this rusty piece in, and the fender kind of cuts off in here and welds to this piece. So go slowly, starting to put the jigsaw puzzle together. This, then this, and this. I think I'm done with the rust repairs on this post. So I had to put the patch in here, rust it out, patch in here. That's from the side actually. So make this shape, bend it in, get in, so the fender will go in here. So this all welded, ground down. I didn't grind that, really hard to get in there. We'll slap some seam sealer on it, will be good enough. I'm gonna treat the undercoat, the wheel well anyways, with some thick stuff, so you will see it if you're really looking for it and get in your head in where the wheel should be. So now that piece is welded, let's try fitting the fender in, I think. Ooh, the frustration level. So if you're thinking of buying this, don't. It's complete and utter garbage. It is garbage. You know, the build quality is shit, but the worst part, it doesn't fit. So I had to push the front end out to align with the door, but now this one is kicked out, I can't get it in. So I'm either gonna throw this out and buy some new pieces, or we'll have to cut this all apart into its separate 3 or 4 pieces, how many there are making this thing up, and try to fit everything individually. Turns out taking away the inner structure, this can get made to fit. This is decent. The gap here is decent. The problem area is here at the bottom. The gap is ginormous by my standards. Whereas you can't fit the finger in here. Just goes in. It wants to be here, but if I pull this end up, it moves this guy in and it starts pinching right here in this corner. And I can't go up, so I'll think, what can we do? Okay, I figured this out. So if we bring this one up, this kind of moves in because it's the taper, the hole closes. So the problem is actually here. This bend needs to move in 3-4 millimeters. So I need to figure out how to this corner is okay, but here at the bottom this has to be a little narrower. So I need to figure out how to roll this edge in some more. Because if we close the door and kind of move this out, you see the gap opens up properly like that. So that's what we need to do. Need to take this out and kind of roll the edge starting from here in. Okay, let's see what I can set up an edge to kind of hammer this on. I can live with that. Now we have a decent gap here. So the closest corner is this, but it's, yeah, maybe I'll bang on it a little bit. So now this fits. I need to clean this up. This is rough. We'll have to get in there with the chisel, put a couple screws in and kind of get things sorted. So that. Okay, need to put in a screw in there and try to fill in this hole now with that. Threw the door back on. Looks aligned pretty good. So that's how we look. Okay, need to get the patch in there, weld it in. Otherwise, looks pretty nice. So this was all holes, so I filled in a bunch. So I need to revelled couple that popped out here a little bit. Ground things off. Well, still need to weld from the bottom and the support structure in here. But that's for the next day. And yeah, that's a pain in the ass. So I need to get some carbide tips to get into these corners, really square ends, so I can get in there. Yeah, this was all holes. And now we're adding the last piece that's missing for this front fender repair. On the passenger side, I bent up a little piece of 16 gauge steel with folded corners, and now we're just gonna buzz it in, add a bunch of weld, and then grind it all off, and then weld the holes that I miss and grind again, and 2 or 3 iterations of that, we'll have a nice shiny corner. To see how quickly this escalated into a full-blown chop of the rear end, watch in the next episode.